This is something that actually happened in December, but the details were covered up until 4 days ago.
What happened?
Whoa.
It was a prison riot that happened in a Las Vegas jail.
Whoa.
And the prison tried to cover it up for any of the info getting out.
They just hit a whole riot?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why they covered it up, but we'll get to that.
They probably had like a jail, like Cirque show. Started doing their own Cirque shows in there.
Because all the people in jail there are impersonators and card dealers.
So let me tell you a little bit about the complexity of this riot. Okay.
Bad boys of Cirque.
So here's what happened. All at the same time, the inmates in this one unit unlocked their own cells from inside, refused orders, covered all the surveillance cameras, flooded the whole area with water out of the toilets, and they took control of the entire unit. They took a metal bunk bed frame and jammed the door while they all got into formation. As soon as the COs and all the guards burst through the door, the inmates were in the mirrored version of their formation.
Wow.
So then they were behind them?
Well, no, I mean, like, so there's a protocol of formation that these guards are gonna get in once this happens. The inmates were in like a football play.
Like ready to receive them.
Yeah, exactly. So they knew this like thing.
What the fuck?
And then
That's organized.
and the ringleader was a known white supremacist from the Aryan Warrior Gang. They end up getting taken down with tasers, pepper balls, flashbangs, grenades, all kinds of things, and they ended up basically quelling the riot, but none of the info got out of the jail.
Wow. I mean, doesn't that happen like a lot, like riots and stuff, and then like they just have to move on?
Basically what happened is the guards, they were really unequipped to deal with this riot.
Oh, so they look like fools.
And they look like, they look bad, but also the guards kind of felt like they needed some form of justice for like putting them in that situation, and the jail not doing anything to like remedy that, and instead kept it quiet so that it wouldn't get out that their resources were low.
Oh, because then they see a vulnerability in the... So did the guards go back and get revenge and beat up the inmates or something?
Well, now that the news is out, now all that stuff's starting to come into play, where all these all the families of these guards and everybody's starting to make a lot of noise about it.
Damn.
Well, see, the whole thing is a lot of these prisons are under-equipped, and then, there's certain things as far as conditions that are going on that they're not addressing. Like, could have been a food situation. We were at an institution in California City when it first opened up, and it was a shit show. So when they told us to lock it down, at one point nobody locked it down, and they're like,
so there was a protest?
It was like basically a protest, and so people, nobody locked it down. Everybody stood out their cell. The warden came. They had the guards, and they were kind of like looking, and they didn't really want to come in there because there wasn't really enough of them. And then they eventually, I guess, reinforcements finally came, and then they somehow, I can't remember how they coerced everybody to get back into their cell. But then at that point, like, dude, it was almost like a day and a half, 2 days with no food. Like, they didn't bring no food, you know what I mean? So, like, that was like, oh, you guys want to play them games? And there's no way for us to communicate anything, but you're way out in the middle of California City, a desert. This facility is under-equipped. They only had minimal inmates there because, see, they have funding for these prisons, and in order to keep getting that money, they got to have people there. So they shift people around, and it's like chattel, like they keep moving you around. So you go from San Bernardino, they send you over here to Kern County, they'll send you over to California City, so that then when they do a census count, see, they got to do a census count everywhere in California at 4 o'clock. You got to stand up and do a count, and that count gives them a number that they put into a census, which allows them to continue funding these facilities. If they don't have people in those places, they get closed down. They lose the funding and they lose the job, so they want to keep those places open because it's providing money for that community, which is a source of income. So it's a fucking racket to move bodies around. So they might have 200-300 like islanders or so many people here from the feds, and they put them over here to hold them. They do a count. They do that for a while. Then they send them over here to borrow them, do a count, and they keep moving them around. And it's a game. So these prisons are scams, bro. They don't even need all these prisons open, but they want to continue to make it seem like they want to employ and have these people, these guards want jobs. So rather than shut down these places and provide adequate food and necessities and resources in the places they do have to improve the conditions, they have shitty places open with minimal staff, minimal food options, and basically it's horrendous, bro. It's like you're eating like San Bernardino. The food is horrible. horrible, bro. And the guards up in there, you can't trade food. You can't look at them. It's filthy. There's roaches and shit. It's nasty. The cells is dirty. And it's barbaric.
You can't trade food? Like, I heard people make spread and all that, but...
Not in San Bernardino County. Like, we're in the kitchen, and like, say you're like looking at the food because you're not eating it, and I'm starving. I don't have no food because a top ramen, one top ramen, it costs $1 something. One top ramen, and you're starving. And if they see you pass food, they'll fuck you up. Vicious, man. So the whole thing with the food, because the food is your most precious commodity. So I can guarantee they'll do not can't guarantee, but probabilities are there was over food, because we didn't lock it down one time, or we refused to come out in another institution because of food, because they started giving us rations to try to see, these are good enough for the military, you guys can eat these. And people are like, man, fuck that, we're doing time. And then people said, we're not coming out. And then after like a week, because if a facility doesn't operate for X amount of hours, basically they come in and they shut it down, they lose their funding, and people lose their jobs. So they like, you better come out or we're going to shake this motherfucker up. Shit. We're going to tear this place. You guys will be shipped all over the country. You better come out. And then they call the reps from each gang or each clique or car, and they try to get them to come back and offer them something. Look, tell your guys to come out. We're going to give you watermelon hamburgers.
It's like union negotiation.
Yeah, union negotiation. Yeah. That's how they do it.
Stop
and
striking.
Then the blacks, you guys come out. Right, come out. You know what I mean? But if you come out when they're telling you not to come out, like they're the white dude. They're like, hey, get in your cell. I'm a shower. Fuck you. Okay. We come off this lockdown. You're gonna get fucked up.
Do all the cars communicate? Like, all the races get together and say, let's all do this?
Yeah, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, everybody, Crip blood, everybody comes together, because it's your food's your only thing. That's your only source of pleasure. So if you don't have no food, you can't eat. I mean, dude, what else you live for?
So most of the riots are food related?
Yes, they'll starve people out.
So what are they feeding you in there?
Oh, man, horrible food, man. Some of the places, like, I remember I was at a place, Sheridan, initially they had like, they used to give you eggs and stuff like a couple times a week. You'd have weekends with nice food, and or during the week you would have these other pancake dishes. This warden came in from Marion, a cold piece of shit. A brother at that, man, cold piece of shit. And he looked around, and they didn't have hardly any barbed wire. They used to have like concerts, like people would play music and stuff. He came in, and first thing he did was start fucking with the food. He went from like the eggs and all this other stuff to like straight grits and like honey buns, like these just sugar shit. Mm-hmm. See, they're like, your food, I can kill you with it, nutrition wise. Mm-hmm. So if I start giving you shit food, you get miserable, you're angry, because you don't, like, fuck, I ain't got no food and this and that. So it's also a way to control emotions. Mm-hmm. And eventually, that warden, when he did that, right, it ended up kicking off, some shit kicked off there. And he created all that purposely to justify all the spending, the funding they needed to continue whatever programs he wanted to do there. And he got rid of whatever other program, got rid of the weights, got rid of, a bunch of stuff. Oh, he was a piece of shit. But they play these games, man. And I can tell you right now that the same games they play in there are the one they play here. Food shortage, 2 packs of meat. And you go, same thing there. Prison, they take shut off the commissary, you go there, they starve you out. It's the same, it's the micro to macro. Mm-hmm. They can practice in there. Yeah. See, same thing. Asians, are they getting along with the blacks? How's the Mexicans getting along? They can play it out here. Out here, using media. Oh, racism. Asians in Oakland got jumped by a black guy. Oh, white guy shot over here. It's the same shit. Same shit. They stir it up, but they play it out here. And I'm watching them fold. I'm like, fuck, this is prison. Like when they close all the gyms. I'm like, how they gonna close the gyms? They took the weights. They took the weights on the street, bro. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, never in my mind. I'm like, I was so happy to be free and lift world weights. Gyms are closed. What the fuck? Yeah. Dude, this is prison shit. Dude, this is a cold game. It's the same game they play in prison. They tell them, look, they meet with the governors. Okay, this institution in California, this one in Oklahoma, this is what happened when you put this many blacks from here, this many Asians. Okay, well, we brought this shot caller right here. He stirred it up because the blacks didn't like him. He's an Aryan brother. They play with the people. So what they do, put this on the news. Talk about this. Do this over here. Start this. This will create a riot in this town. They're not stupid. They play it. They got it down to a science, man.
And if you say that, people go, conspiracy.
Yes.
Well, we've been doing...
Oh, Big Herc, you're on that bullshit. You're on that bullshit. Bullshit. But they used to always, man, I'm telling you, man, they do that. And one of the things they used to always say, like, they used to ask me because I had a Korean, a Belizean, white dude, black dude, white dude, Mexican, and we used to be studying all the time. And they used to be like, "Man, what are you doing in there? What are you guys studying? Why, you know, you got all these different people hanging out." And they were jealous because I had all the different races coming together, but we were small, but we all shared information. They don't want that communication. They want everybody angry. Oh, see, the blacks are attacking the Asians now. You mean to tell me all of a sudden we ain't never had no beef with no? What is this going on here? And then they show this. It's like they stir up shit because they create something to create a reaction, and people don't think. They don't even look at the whole story. That guy, oh, the police, they shot him. Well, that guy, you didn't see that he was fighting, he was going to get a gun, and he was a rapist. He didn't want to go to prison for the rape charge. So there's a lot of other shit, but they don't explain everything, and then you don't find out till months later. Oh, dude, that was a fucking old video from 2009. And they made it look like it was new.
And everyone just forgets. You know what the real conspiracy is? How do dudes get so buff on Top Ramen?
Yeah, what's your macros like?
Protein, bro. No one's getting protein.
Someone have an asshole like this big to stuff a thing of protein in jail?
Yeah.
Like
the protein powder?
I guess like protein some guy in the cell's like, aha!
You know, the crazy thing, I used to always wonder that, but like, because you're just resting, you're growing. So you work out and you just work out.
You hit it hard, huh?
You hit it hard, and then the thing too, like I think to a degree, people overvalue like the necessary, like as far as protein, because if you're getting minimal protein, but you're carbing up and you're able to rest, you're recovering, so you're not really taxing your muscle much because you're locked down and you're sleeping a lot more. And babies grow when they sleep, so the size you get is different. It's not ripped. Because
it's huge though.
But you're gonna get mass.
It's the recovery.
Recovery is the key. So it's not the training. Everybody think, oh man, or the food. The food to a degree. So if you're able to predominantly in there, the major source of protein is like if you can get like eggs from the kitchen and tuna fish or canned chicken. You know, and you can eat a high diet like that.
And
but
the feedings are consistent throughout the day, huh?
But you're not running the streets. You're not fucking. You're not you know what I mean? So you're preserved. So you got it's all beaten up. You know, everything's building up. But if you're out here drinking, flying, oh man, you're not recovering. You're working all the time. In prison, all you're doing is dudes who are buffing. They're out there for 2-3 movements. You know, like an hour and something. And then they go and they eat and they go lay down and they just relaxing. You're sediment. So your body just recuperating. Where you wouldn't normally recuperate from a workout with that minimal nutrition.
That's what I need to do. I just need to eat Top Ramen and go to sleep and do a couple of push-ups.
With some tuna, though. With some tuna.
Next time you're at the gym, just laying on the mat, what are you doing? I'm recovering.
Trying to get swole, dog.